Are you tired of sucking at Valorant and never being able to rank up? Well, today's your lucky day, because I'm going to tell you the top 5 tips that are really keeping you back from ranking up. Hi, I'm Wyvern, and I've been playing this game since the second Battle Pass ever came out. I have been in the ranks all the way down to Bronze 2, and all the way as high as Diamond 1. I'm going to tell you the biggest mistakes and problems that I saw in these lower ranks that kept me from getting up to the higher ranks. I'm not going to be able to help you if you're sitting above Diamond. You'll probably already know all these things, but if you're sitting in these iron, bronze, gold, if you're even just trying to get from gold to platinum, this video should help you out a lot. Let's get right into it. The first mistake you're probably making is you're peeking unnecessary angles. I've seen, especially in the lower ranks, when you get into a lot of fights, you can get thirsty for kills and you'll start just over peeking. When you're playing defender, you need to make it so the enemy is peeking you and you are not peeking them. Because if you're peeking the enemy, you're giving them a 50-50 or a better chance to kill you, whereas if, since you're defending, making them peek you, you have a 90% chance of killing them, and they only have a 10% chance of killing you. The biggest thing is, if you're playing a smoking character, make sure you're using your smokes to set up and be able to stop the enemy from seeing you into your line of sight, and making them push out of these smokes so that you can get an insta headshot or just hit the body shots and you'll get the kill. As well, when you're attacking, once you have that spike down, think about it now as you're defending. You need to make them peek you once again, because if you're not making them peek you, you are just letting yourself get picked off, making your team have a teammate down. Whatever utility you had left is now useless, unless you're Clove, of course, then you do have smokes that you can use, but that's a special use case. But overall, you're just setting your team up to fail if you are just sitting there, getting picked off, making them not peek you, you're peeking them, and just dying. So the second most important thing that you need to be doing when playing Valorant is using your utility, but not just using your utility for your team. If you're not using your utility for your team, you're setting up yourself for a loss. Yes, you may die because you didn't have that utility, but you just won the round because you set your team up for success. So, for example, if you are a player like Omen who has smokes, you need to set up those smokes for the teammates that are being pushed. If you're setting up your smokes for yourself and yourself only to get a pick, use a one-way, whatever, you're not using your abilities to its fullest potential, because your teammates are out here dying. You may have just gotten 2 kills, but the rest of your team's dead on the other site and they're now planting, which just set you and your team up for failure. So the biggest thing that you need to do is make sure you're at least using one of your smokes in that instance for your team. Yes, you can keep one for yourself, but you also have to remember you have your teleports and your blinds still that can't be used for your team, so you can use those in a selfish manner and use both of your smokes to help your team out. With your smokes, you should be going ahead and placing them in spots where making the enemy peek your other teammates, just like I talked about in the first part, and you could also set them up in one way so your teammates can just get free and easy picks. I would say the next most important thing would be your communication with your team. If you have a microphone and you are not communicating with your team, once again, you are just setting yourself and your teammates up for failure. When you go ahead and not communicate with your team, they may not know that somebody is flanking. They may not know that somebody is in one of these angles where one of your teammates could hit that pick and get the kill and help your other teammates push in and stuff like that. So communication is a very big part in this game. It is a team game. It is a 5v5. So make sure that you're communicating with your team what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, why you're doing it, and where we can push, as well as where the enemy is. If you know where the enemy is, just tell them. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't oversay things. Don't repeat things 300 times. Just say it once or twice and let your teammates play. Don't backseat game them at that point, because at that point it just gets annoying. If you take anything away from this video, it should be this point right here. This is the most important thing when it comes to playing Valorant, and it is your mental. Your mental has 2 different parts: being frustrated and being cocky. We're going to start with the most common one, which is probably frustration. So if you're playing bad and you're not doing well and you start getting frustrated, you are going to do all of the other mistakes. You're going to stop communicating. You're going to start peeking stupid angles. You're going to not use your util for your team. And if you're doing all of those things, you are sabotaging yourself and your team to both lose. So if you're just having a very rough game, you're not doing well, just take a step back, take a breather, and just think of what you can do to start playing better. And as well, if you're doing the things that I said up top, where you're communicating and where you're going ahead and using your util for your team, and you're just trying your hardest that you can, then you are doing your job and you will set your team up for success. You may not be doing good yourself. You may be going 0-12. But if we're also 12-0, and part of the reasons we're winning is because I just told them where they were, and I just told them, hey, I'm putting a smoke here so we can push through this way, and I have the strategy for us to win, and I stopped them from getting picked off. I did my job and I contributed to the win, whether the game thinks it or not. Any form of RR is any form of RR. So just be glad that you're gaining any. Don't worry about how much you are gaining, because if you're winning every game but you're not doing great, but you're still getting a ton of RR, you're going to gain more RR over time because you didn't lose any. As well, with the frustration, if your teammate's getting frustrated, don't be rude to them, don't be mean to them. If they're not doing good, don't be rude to them, don't be mean to them. Because all that's going to do is bring your entire team down, going to bring them down even more, where who knows, maybe they'll start doing really well in 2 to 3 rounds and you guys will start winning that game. But if you are just rude and mean to them, they won't want to help out anymore or even try anymore. Just cheer them up, try and be better. Now here's the other part, being cocky. Let's say you're 12-0. I have seen a 12-0 game get flipped and go into overtime, and the enemy team that had 0 at the half win. And you may think that is the most crazy thing and that will never happen to you, but if your entire team gets cocky, it can happen. So what you need to do is keep playing like they're the best team you've ever versed. Don't ever underestimate them, because once you start underestimating them, that is when they're going to shine and they're going to flip it on you and take the W. Thank you guys for watching. I hope these tips help you in getting your next couple wins. If you guys did enjoy and these tips were helpful to you, please give me a like and subscribe, and comment what games you want me to tell you why you're losing at and not winning at next. I'm going to be making some more content here in the near future on tips and tricks on how to play some of these games. I've been playing games for a long time now, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.